Hey folks, we're back again with another reaction video. This is another donation request. Kevin Bounds requested that I react to his very own song. And those of you who have been with the channel for even a month will know I've done a few of Kevin's songs. And you guys really like his stuff. And one of the cool things that some of the artists have let me know is that when I react to a song on the channel, that it's boosting them on like Spotify or these other places. And I was shocked to hear that because it didn't even enter my mind. I just do the reactions just for us, right? But it's really cool to see the artist getting a bump out there in their own sphere. So I hope that happens for you, Kevin. Maybe it already has. I think you let me know. Maybe it did. But a couple of other artists have let me know that they went from like number 200 on Spotify up to number 11 or something. And I'm like, really? Like, how is that happening just from our channel? But it does once in a while, which is fantastic. So anyway, Kevin, I did get the version of the song that you wanted, the one with I got your second email, if you will. And so I got the one that the video that you put together to go along with the song. Haven't I Hurt Here Once Before? That's interesting. That title. Anytime I see the title, of course, I get ideas about what's coming up in the song. And sometimes I could figure it out, sometimes not. Jerry Reed's Amos Moses. I had no idea I would be crying, laughing so hard in that song. You're the Reason Our Kids Are Ugly. Carmen Loretta. That one I kind of knew would be funny, but I wasn't quite sure. But I didn't know I'd be crying during that. This is the type of song where you know it's going to be sad. But haven't I hurt here once before? The here is the key word in that one. All right, Kevin, here we go. Thank you, Kevin, by the way, for the donation again. And I hope this does well. Very different, but I recognize part of it. It's similar. How is it fun?
Lately I've been trying to stay away from you. There'll be no more crying and no more feeling blue. I'll walk away smart, gonna wise up this time. Stop following my heart and start listening to my mind.
All right, good.
But somehow, without thinking, I found my way back to you. There's that old familiar feeling.
Ouch.
It's a case of deja vu. Haven't I heard here once before?
Yes, you have.
Is this the place where I swore I'd never return?
Jesus Christ, you're singing my life right now, Kevin. Good Lord.
My heart keeps coming back for more.
No, not me.
I guess it's never gonna learn. It just keeps getting burned. Well, haven't I hurt here once before? It's just the same old story. It's like an old rerun. I know how it's gonna end,
Yeah.
before it's even begun. Well, first we'll start to argue, and you'll start telling lies.
Uh-oh.
Then there'll be that awful silence before I say goodbye.
Oh, shit. I got a feeling this is a real story, Kevin. I don't know. I don't want to make too many assumptions here, but it sounds like this was real for you. But this is making me think. Those of you who are new to the channel, I am a personal coach. And so I've worked with people who are going through divorce, who are considering it, but then don't do it. But I've also worked with people who have gotten divorced, and I have friends who've gotten divorced and then remarried later. And in some situations, it actually worked, but it is very common in a relationship where once it breaks apart, you break up. Could be boyfriend, girlfriend, could be husband, wife. Breaks up, you go your separate ways for a while. And then slowly you start to forget the things that bothered you about that other person. And you start to remember more fondly the things that you like about them, and you miss being with someone. And so you come back together, and just what Kevin is talking about in this song, the things that bothered you, the things that annoyed you, the same problems that each of you brought to the relationship, presumably, start to show up again. Oh my God, I could go on forever on this, but you're hitting you're hitting a note here, Kevin.
But I've got nowhere else to go. This is the only place I know. Mine's a heart without a home. Here or there, it's still alone.
Here or there.
Well, haven't I heard here once before? Is this the place where I swore I'd never return? My heart keeps coming back for more. I guess it's never gonna learn. It just keeps getting burned. Haven't I heard here once before? Haven't I heard here once before? I know I've heard here once before.
Oh. Couple things about that. I like that you said here or there. I've heard whether you're with her or whether you're not, you're hurting. And I like that you brought that in. And where you said you rhymed learned and burned. And I was hoping at one point that you would use go learned and turned, where my heart got burned and so my heart was turned. And because I don't know, that's just lyricism is just a funny thing. There's nothing right or wrong. There's so many words and ideas and sentences you could put in there with the right number of syllables so it matches the flow of the song and all that. But that was on the nose, man. That was on the nose. Holy cow. Because anybody who's been through a divorce too or considers going through it, of course you think about staying because the pain of leaving is brutal. But you're weighing that against the pain of staying. And I call it the 2-page approach, where you take one idea on one page, you get like a notebook, empty, and you put one idea, I'm going to stay in the relationship, on one side of the page, and on the other page, next to it, you put, I'm going to leave the relationship. And then you write out the pros and cons to it. It could be anything. There's a person that you haven't spoken to in years, maybe a family member, and it's like, send them a birthday card. Don't send them a birthday card. And you write down the pros and cons. I just call it the 2-page approach. And using your head like you talked about in the beginning of the song, Kevin, you said you were going to not live with your heart, but not basically let your heart guide you. You're going to work out of your mind. You were going to let your mind or your brain, your head guide you more. But then your heart won out basically and you wanted to go back to her. But haven't I heard here before? I like that. You maybe at one point toward the end of the song, I thought you might actually enjoy poetry. I'm not a big poetry fan, but every so often I do read it. And I do have probably my favorite poem, and it's a short one by Mary Oliver called, it's like Down by the Shore or Down by the Sea. And it's only like 5 or 6 lines, and it was just this mind-blowing poem. But if you worked with poetry, I think the conciseness with which you got to write, I think you're fully capable of going to that space, and maybe you already do. Poets are the most brilliant lyricists ever because they just know how to make things so consolidated, so concise, and have a punch to those words rather than needing to flesh it out, because in songs you don't get to flesh it out much. But yeah, all right, so I'm going to rate that. That one just hit me in the face. Thank you for that, Kevin. Yeah, I like the steel in there too. I like when you brought the steel in, and it was interesting. I think you came in It wasn't with a piano. It almost sounded like a synthesizer, but it reminded me of a song from like the 70s or 80s. The number that popped into my head on this one that was just too real was a 9.2. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know what I was in for based on the original the initial instrumentation of the song, but then it turned very, very country after about 6 or 7 seconds. I don't know if you brought steel in, but something was brought in that said, oh yeah, we're going full country here. So there it is. Okay, folks, leave your comments for Kevin. Kevin, thanks for the donation, but thank you for that song too. It was fantastic. So have a great day. I'll see you on another video and keep rocking the country.